guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another speed build, and today's build is kind of a special one, you could say, or just a fun one, because today we are renovating the first build I've ever done, which was around when I first got The Sims, which was around December 2017. I think I got it in November, but I built this in December. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that this is my first ever build. I believe it is, but you can never be sure. And at least it's like the first one I've ever uploaded to the gallery. I think it's still up, but it might be under a different name, so I'm not sure if it'll show up under the name I have right now as like dodogamesyt. But anyways, disclaimer for the video, some parts of the video are really laggy for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Some parts are like pretty smooth, some aren't. I don't know what happened, so I'm sorry for that. And it's just weird because like, why is it that whenever I fix an issue with my recording software, another one appears? But it's whatever. Anyways, this house was really fun to renovate because when I placed it down, I was in shock because why did it look so ugly? Like, I don't know if you saw in the beginning because it went by pretty quick, but it was like, dang, what is that? It was really wide and the roof was ugly. The windows were placed weird, and it was like a large curved porch for no reason. So I just changed a lot of the house. I'm still calling it a renovation because I didn't change I didn't totally change it up, but I made it much smaller because the first house was just way too big. It was like a large room for the kitchen, living, and dining room. It was like an open floor plan, which was cool, I guess, but it looks really ugly from the outside, so I changed that. Honestly, after doing this house, I was just changing the outside and it was already starting to look better, and I'm kind of proud of how much my building has improved because it's been about like almost 4 years. I hadn't even built that much in the past 4 years, if you could see in the gallery. I've only built more recently for the channel, but it feels like I actually know what I'm doing now when I'm building. Like back then I used to make everything really big, but now I've like scaled it down. And when I placed this house, I was looking at the interior and it was pretty traditional-ish, and I didn't really want to go for that because like the house's name was Chef's Cove, which I was keeping, and to me, I kind of imagined it to be more modern. That's kind of like what I picture when I think of a chef, so I went with more modern furniture and like modern windows, I guess. Not too much though. And since I was going for the modern look, I was really tempted to use custom content, and so I gave into that temptation because I just love custom content. I'm sorry for using it so much, it's just really tempting. And of course I used a ton of Peacemaker's custom content, and I used a lot from Little Dika's Sleek Slumber. Of course I will be linking all of the custom content I use down below in a document. So I use a lot of furniture, which I'd call it modern with some hints of minimalism, Scandinavian style. I'm not sure, but I just thought it looked way better than it did before, because back then it didn't even look like a chef lived there. Like in the original build, it looked like an old lady house that was also an author or librarian or something. Like nothing about it made it seem like a chef lived there. So I was happy with how this was more, I don't know if it was more obvious, I just thought it made a little bit more sense. And it was really cool how much The Sims has changed, because like back then you couldn't even move the doors or windows on the half tile, or like with alt, they always snapped by the full tile, and there were like 2 tile doors that you couldn't really use because they were like big but not big. It was just weird. But now it's like so much more freedom, which is really fun. I really like how I lay out this house instead of before, because before I think it was like awkward and like separate corners but one big square. I just didn't like it, but like I like how it is now because of the hallway going into the living room and then the kitchen. I mean, since it's smaller now, there's no room for a dining room or like a dining table, which I guess doesn't necessarily make sense for a chef, but you can eat by the coffee table and outside if you want to. Honestly, it was just so fun to do this build because of the custom content. Like back then I used a lot of custom content for the builds I did for myself, and I really loved doing them because I could almost like imagine the house was like for me, and it was just really fun to put in a bunch of detail. I guess it kind of feels like I can't put that much detail in with like just a base game home. This house I think is base game plus the custom content, but yeah. And so I used these really nice pieces from the sleek slumber in the bedroom and some stuff from Peacemaker like the desk and the couch. I think Peacemaker made the closet there, but it's also like that's something in The Sims, if that makes sense. Came with the update. I just really like how this house looks way better than it did before. Also, on the gallery, the house I think is 49,630 simoleons, but in-game, when I was building, it said that the lot value was around 43,000, so I don't really know what the difference is. I don't know where that 6,000 comes from, but that's around the range, I guess, which is way cheaper than the original house. I think the original might have been around 60,000, which is great. And some things about the sim I was thinking of when I was doing this house. I pictured her as a successful chef, but not like a Gordon Ramsay, you could say. I think she's more aspiring, and I've kind of thought maybe late young adult or early adult stage. To me, since I kind of thought of her as an aspiring chef, I kind of thought maybe it's like those things where you do one job, but then later on you realize that this isn't what you really want to do. So maybe now she wants to be a chef. Since this house is kind of small, I wasn't able to put a lot of character into it, and I also didn't really think about the sim too much when building it. I kind of just wanted to do any style, and so yeah, I didn't really think of a specific sim. I mean, I made one for the screenshots that I believe is like an ambitious sim that is a foodie, maybe a snob, I don't remember, but that's what I was getting from the interior. And something with this house I've never done is do a front yard rather than a backyard. There was no space for a back door, so I decided to do a front yard instead. I think it is a little weird to me because I feel like there's not much privacy with a front yard, but at the same time, your Sims do not care about privacy at all, so it's fine. I put a grill out here because, you know, chef, and some planter pots because I thought like maybe she's like a healthy chef that plants her own vegetables or something to cook with. I also think I put like a guitar in the bedroom for like skill building. This house was meant to be kind of starter vibes, but is really expensive, so it's not really a starter, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I didn't put that much stuff in it since I was going for like one type of sim, which was the chef. And I just landscaped. My landscaping before was really ugly. I don't know why I used the grass. Grass in The Sims is really ugly. Like the bushes are way cuter, if you know what I mean. There's like this one grass item that's like a different shade of green than the actual grass on the floor. I don't know why I used that. I also put so many flamingos and gnomes in the first build. I put none in this. Just wanted to stay away from that. I don't know why I had so many gnomes. It was weird. But this is the end of the build, I think. Thank you so much for watching. I was just rambling quite a bit, but I hope you enjoyed the build. It was really fun for me to do. Please like the video and comment down below which build you like better. It better be this one because the other one is really ugly. Anyways, thank you. Bye-bye.